Acura TLX A-Spec. The TLX straddles the line between compact and mid-sized luxury sedans. It's basically between the 3 Series and the 5 Series, but it's priced like a compact sedan. This is Acura's answer to the BMW 3 Series and the Audi A4. Acura as a brand has been caught between performance and luxury cars, never quite hitting that sweet spot. But with this TLX A-Spec, they're promising a sportier, more engaging car. The question is, does it really deliver? Alright, first thing first, under the hood is a Honda engine, baby. And that's a great thing. This is a 2.0 liter inline-4 with a turbocharger. And it's basically a detuned Type R K-Series engine, which means you know it's very well bulletproof. You get 272 horsepower, 280 pound-feet of torque, and you get it with a 10-speed automatic transmission. It is a pretty fast transmission and pretty long gear. Decent shifts, downshift. The paddles aren't the greatest thing, but when it's in automatic mode, it's actually pretty good. Let's come to a full stop here and do a quick launch. We are in transmission sport mode. Let's give it a little brake boost. 2,000 RPM and okay. Pretty good. You get that VTEC kicking in, and that is 100 kilometers per hour, also 60 miles per hour. That is a 0 to 60 time of 5.9 seconds. Pretty good for a car in this category. It does weigh about 4,000 pounds, which is quite hefty for a vehicle like this. Pretty much the same weight as the 3 Series actually, but you don't really feel that weight. It's pretty well balanced. A little bit of body roll, but again, it doesn't feel like it weighs that much. I'd assume it weighs like 3,500 pounds, which is a compliment to this car. Put it in sport mode and the engine revs a little bit higher. You also get your normal and your comfort mode and an individual mode, which you can hold down this massive drive mode selector. You get your engine in normal mode or sport, and you can control your steering, weight, and the suspension. And you can also control your gauge, your ambient lighting, and your auto stop start. I don't know if I like this big massive button in the middle. I feel like I don't use it enough for it to take up a quarter of the space here. I feel like they could have just made it a little bit smaller and it would still be fine. And again, there's a lot of emphasis on the drive mode because half of your dashboard here just says what drive mode you're in. Whereas I'd like to see my music there or any other display that I can put up there as well. Let's put it back into sport mode. Come around this turn. Pretty good. And you also get some induced cabin noise in sport mode. I think it's actually necessary for this car because it sounds way better. It sounds like a V6 instead. If you have it in normal mode, you definitely hear that inline-4, and I don't think it sounds that great. Yeah, it's whatever. Cool turbo noises though. Back into sport mode here, you get a boost gauge on the side as well. I love this digital dashboard. It's a 12.3-inch display, and you get your tachometer up top. Coming around this corner, punch it in the corner. It just handles really well. We get standard shoddy SH all-wheel drive, which is awesome. It's literally the perfect all-wheel drive system for a car in this category. I wouldn't really ask for anything more than this because it's a torque vectoring system. It is optional in America, but if you are considering this car, the SH all-wheel drive is not up for debate. It is a must-get for the TLX because it's what makes this car absolutely amazing. You can just punch it in any turn like this one here. Just stay on the gas, and there's just so much confidence that it gives you to just power right through. It is absolutely amazing. Through this hairpin right here, just stay on the gas in the corner and it will just rotate you right around. A little bit of oversteer, perfect amount. It eliminates all that understeer. You just gotta drive it the way the car wants you to. Stay on the throttle. It knows exactly what you want to do. I think it's definitely worth that extra $2,000 if you live in America, and if you live in Canada, it just comes with the car. it just brings so much value to this vehicle. It just makes it way more fun and exciting. You cannot buy a TLX in front-wheel drive. You can also watch it on this display here where it's distributing power, and you can see how it feeds more power into the outer wheel just to bring you around the corner. One of the best systems in the market today. To be honest, in that steep uphill, tight right turn there, it's one of the best vehicles that I've ever taken around that corner because you need that grip in the back and you don't want it to understeer when you're powering through. And this car just does such a good job. And I didn't really expect that at this price. The chassis tuning is also so good in this car. It is very entertaining to drive. And it just proves that Acura can build a terrific sports car. This sentiment is even more true in the Type S, which has 355 horsepower and can get to 60 in 4.6 seconds. You literally can't mess up driving this car. Like, it won't snap out of you in the back. It won't understeer either. You just got a good car for most enthusiasts and for most people who buy this TLX. A little bit wet here, and it just stays very well planted. That's actually ice there, and the car doesn't go straight into the guardrail, neither does it spin out. It just feels like you have so much control with this vehicle. All right, let's punch it here. Back comes right around in the corner. Remember to stay on the gas when you're powering through. Okay, pretty good. Brakes are pretty solid. You can get the Brembos in the Type S, but here you just got the normal brakes, but they feel pretty good. And just stay on the power in the corner. You gotta drive it a little bit differently than the average vehicle to utilize that shoddy system. Honestly, when I first got in this vehicle in the beginning of the week, and I just drove it like a normal person around town, it felt all right. Nothing too special, but now that I'm driving it on these nice back roads here, it is a completely different opinion that I have because it's actually so much more fun than I thought. Put it in normal mode right now and everything lightens up. The suspension is a lot comfier. It's a great car to daily. There's like no complaints about how this vehicle drives. I will say the engine is still rather loud. It's not on the same level as like the BMW 3 Series or a Mercedes C-Class in terms of refinement and how quiet it is on the inside, but that's okay because it makes up for that in performance. You get a really good mix of a comfy car as well as a sporty car that you can have quite a bit of fun in. It competes directly with the G70, which is a good thing because that car also handles really well, and you can check that video out here if you're interested in that vehicle. This does do better mileage. You get 21 miles per gallon in the city and 29 miles per gallon on the highway, which is honestly mediocre. I don't think it's that great. I think your combined fuel economy is 24 miles per gallon. We've been averaging 21.5 miles per gallon. We are driving it pretty aggressively here, but we also have a good mix of city and highway driving as well. In terms of safety systems, you do get your standard Acura watch system, which means you have your adaptive cruise control, your lane keep assist, and your blind spot monitors, which are actually inside the vehicle and not on the mirror. You get a backup camera, no 360 camera on the A-Spec, but you can get it in the Type S, which is actually not that much more expensive than the A-Spec. So if you want something even more playful and offers even more value compared to its competitors, I think you should consider the Type S as well. The exterior on the TLX is very nice. I actually really like how it looks. It's very wide and low car, long proportions, pretty long hood. It makes it look very powerful. This color is liquid carbon metallic, pretty cool color. The dual LED headlights are nice and bright, and I really like the chicane DRLs. You also get your fog lights here. 19-inch wheels, they're in this gray color. They're decent wheels. But one of the best things about the looks of this car is that it's actually pretty rare. You don't really see a TLX as often as you see a 3 Series or an IS. So this car definitely stands out amongst the crowd. I also really love all the standard features in this car. You just gotta get the A-Spec trim, and it comes with everything that we have here. You're not adding a bunch of different packages on like you would in a German car. You got these really nice red seats with the ultra suede in the middle. Very good seats. You got your 4-way lumbar control. No thigh support here. Very well bolstered though. The interior in here I'd say is pretty nice. It wouldn't be on the same level as a German luxury vehicle, but again, it's a lot cheaper. I do still like that you get your physical HVAC controls here, very easy to use, heated and ventilated seats, and an auto mode as well. Big gripe that most people do have about this vehicle is the infotainment, which is kind of frustrating to use because it's only controlled by this trackpad here, not a touch screen at all. So you're stuck with this thing, which is fine when you're using Acura UI because wherever you put your finger, it will just show up on the screen. But when you're in Apple CarPlay, it is very annoying because you just gotta swipe continuously to get anywhere. If they just made that a touch screen and just brought it a little bit closer, I think it would be a perfect car. Like, that's the one big problem. It's a 12.3-inch display, very nice and clear. Same with the digital dashboard here, 12.3-inch display. I did wish they utilized the space a little bit better. No heads-up display here. You can get a heads-up display in the Type S only in the United States. What I really love about this car is the 17-speaker ELS audio system. They sound absolutely terrific. Pretty much better than every car in this price range, I'd say. You get your wireless charger here, very well-positioned cup holders. You get a very nice soft pad here for your wrist when you're cursing at your infotainment system. And then you have your 27 ambient lighting colors in here. You also get your moonroof here. You also get your key with remote start as standard. And there's these really cool lights that let you know if it started successfully. I really appreciate that. The rear seats are a little bit tight for how long this car is. It's bigger than the IS and the G70, but it's actually a little bit tighter than the BMW 3 Series and the Audi A4. The trunk gets you 13.5 cubic feet of space, which is all right, not that big, but overall, other than the infotainment system, I have very few complaints about this car. It just delivers so much value to the table. At the end of the day, it's not really a high-end luxury car. The interior isn't something you'd find in an Audi A4. You will definitely hear the engine when you drive, and you will feel the road. And I don't mean that in a bad way because this vehicle is priced really low, and it really focuses on delivering value and performance. It starts at $45,000 US. For this A-Spec trim, it's $51K in America and $57K Canadian and Canada, and I think it's pretty worth it. But all in all, if you want a well-built engine that will never die on you, Honda engineering, and driving a feel that feels pretty much like a luxury sports car, I would really recommend TLX. And if you want even more fun, you should definitely check out the TLX Type S because that car delivers even more value to the table and competes with vehicles like the M340 and the Audi S4 for a fraction of the cost. That is all, guys. Thanks for watching.